What if I told you that one of the most famous stories in history began with a single, fateful decision? Picture this, a woman, crafted by the gods, standing before a mysterious box. Her heart races, her fingers tremble, and against all warnings, she lifts the lid. In that moment, the world changes forever. This is the story of Pandora and her infamous box, a tale that has captivated humanity for thousands of years. But what if there's more to this myth than you've ever been told? What if the story you think you know is just the tip of the iceberg? Today, we're diving deep into 25 ancient myths about Pandora and her box, uncovering secrets, lesser-known details, and surprising twists that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. From the creation of Pandora herself to the hidden meanings behind the box's contents, we'll explore the mysteries that have made this story endure through the ages. So, are you ready to unlock the truth behind one of mythology's most enduring legends? Let's begin. Now, let's step back to the very beginning of Pandora's story, the moment she was brought into existence. The creation of Pandora is a tale of divine craftsmanship and calculated intent. It all began with Zeus, the king of the gods, who sought to punish humanity for Prometheus's act of stealing fire and giving it to mortals. Zeus, known for his cunning, devised a plan that would bring both beauty and chaos to the world. He called upon Hephaestus, the god of fire and blacksmiths, to craft the first woman. Hephaestus, a master artisan, shaped Pandora from clay, molding her with unparalleled skill and precision. Her form was flawless, a testament to his divine talent. But Pandora was more than just a creation of clay. She was a vessel for the gods' gifts. Each deity contributed something to her essence. Aphrodite bestowed upon her beauty and charm, making her irresistible to all who beheld her. Athena taught her skills and wisdom, while Hermes gave her the gift of speech and, most notably, curiosity. This last gift would prove to be both her defining trait and her greatest flaw. Pandora was not just a woman, she was a masterpiece, a living embodiment of the gods' power and their desire to shape the fate of humanity. Yet, beneath her radiant exterior lay a purpose far darker than anyone could have imagined. She was, after all, designed as a punishment, a beautiful trap meant to unleash suffering upon the world. And so, with her creation complete, Pandora stepped into the world, unaware of the role she was destined to play. But how did this divine creation come to be tied to the infamous box? That's a story for the next chapter. Now, as we move forward in Pandora's story, we arrive at a moment that would change the course of humanity forever: the wedding of Pandora and Epimetheus. This union was not just a simple marriage, it was a pivotal event orchestrated by the gods, one that would set the stage for the release of the evils hidden within the infamous box. Epimetheus, the brother of Prometheus, was known for his impulsive nature, a stark contrast to his brother's foresight and wisdom. Prometheus, ever the protector of humanity, had warned Epimetheus not to accept any gifts from Zeus, knowing full well the king of the gods' penchant for deception. But Epimetheus, captivated by Pandora's beauty and charm, chose to ignore his brother's warnings. When Pandora arrived, she came bearing a gift from Zeus, a beautifully crafted jar which would later be misinterpreted as a box. This jar, sealed tightly, was meant to remain closed, but its contents were far from innocent. Epimetheus, swayed by Pandora's allure and the apparent generosity of the gods, accepted her into his home. The tension between Prometheus's caution and Epimetheus's recklessness is a key element of this myth, highlighting the consequences of ignoring wisdom in favor of desire. As Pandora settled into her new life with Epimetheus, the jar remained a constant presence, a silent reminder of the gods' intentions. Its very existence was a test of Pandora's curiosity and Epimetheus's resolve. But as we'll soon see, this test would not remain unbroken for long. The stage was set and the threads of fate were tightening, leading to a moment that would unleash chaos upon the world. But what exactly lay within that jar, and why was it so dangerous? That's a question we'll explore as we delve deeper into the myth of Pandora's infamous box. Now, let's turn our attention to the centerpiece of this myth, the mysterious box, or rather, the jar. Yes, that's right. What we've come to know as Pandora's box was actually a large jar, or pithos, in the original Greek telling of the story. This small but significant detail often gets lost in translation, as the word pithos was later misinterpreted as box in many retellings. These jars were commonly used in ancient Greece for storing food, wine, or even burial remains, making them a familiar object in everyday life. But this particular jar was far from ordinary. It was a vessel of immense power, holding within it the fate of humanity. The jar was a gift from Zeus, but it was no ordinary present. It was a carefully crafted trap designed to test both Pandora and Epimetheus. Sealed tightly, it was meant to remain closed, its contents hidden from the world. But what exactly was inside? The jar held all the evils and misfortunes that would plague humanity: disease, sorrow, greed, and countless other afflictions. Yet it also contained something else, something that would prove to be just as significant: hope. This duality is at the heart of the jar's symbolism. It wasn't just a container of destruction, it was also a vessel of resilience, holding the key to humanity's ability to endure. The jar itself is a powerful symbol representing containment and secrecy. Its sealed nature suggests the unknown, the hidden dangers that lurk just beneath the surface of our lives. But it also represents the potential for release, for the unleashing of forces that can change the world. In this way, the jar becomes a metaphor for the human condition, our capacity for both destruction and renewal, for despair and hope. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always a glimmer of light, a reason to keep going. As we reflect on the jar's significance, it's worth considering how this ancient myth continues to resonate with us today. The idea of a sealed container holding both chaos and hope is a timeless one, speaking to the complexities of life and the choices we face. And as we'll see in the next part of Pandora's story, the moment the jar is opened will reveal not just the evils within, but also the enduring power of hope to guide us through even the darkest times. Now let's step into the pivotal moment of Pandora's story, the forbidden act that changed everything. Despite the warnings and the sealed nature of the jar, Pandora's curiosity grew stronger by the day. It's a feeling we've all experienced, that irresistible pull toward the unknown, the desire to uncover what's hidden. For Pandora, this curiosity became overwhelming. She couldn't resist the urge to open the jar to see what secrets it held. And in that moment of weakness, she lifted the lid, unleashing a torrent of evils into the world. Disease, sorrow, greed, and countless other afflictions poured out, spreading across the earth like a dark cloud. It was a catastrophic release, one that would forever alter the course of humanity. But what's fascinating is how this act has been interpreted over time. On one hand, Pandora's decision is often seen as a grave mistake, a moment of disobedience that brought suffering to the world. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of curiosity and the consequences of defying the gods. Yet, on the other hand, her actions can also be viewed as a deeply human moment, a reflection of our innate desire to explore and understand the unknown. Psychologically, Pandora's choice speaks to the tension between restraint and curiosity, between following rules and seeking answers. It's a universal struggle, one that resonates with anyone who has ever faced a difficult decision. Morally, her act raises questions about responsibility and the unintended consequences of our actions. Did Pandora truly understand the weight of what she was doing? Or was she simply a pawn in a larger game orchestrated by the gods? These questions have sparked endless debates, with interpretations varying across cultures and time periods. In some traditions, Pandora is seen as a tragic figure, a victim of her own nature and the schemes of the gods. In others, she's portrayed as a symbol of human fallibility, a reminder that even the best intentions can lead to disaster. And then there are those who view her act as a necessary step in humanity's evolution, a moment that brought both suffering and the potential for growth. After all, without the release of these evils, would we ever have learned to overcome them? Would we have discovered the strength to endure? As we reflect on Pandora's forbidden act, it's worth considering how this myth mirrors our own lives. How often do we face moments where curiosity clashes with caution, where the desire to know more leads us down unexpected paths? Pandora's story reminds us that every choice carries consequences, but it also holds the possibility of hope. And as we'll see next, even in the wake of her actions, there was one thing left in the jar, a small but powerful force that would shape humanity's future. As the lid of the jar was lifted, the world witnessed an unprecedented flood of chaos. Disease, sorrow, greed, and a host of other evils surged forth, each carrying its own unique brand of suffering. Disease spread like wildfire, touching every corner of the earth, leaving pain and weakness in its wake. Sorrow followed closely, casting a shadow over hearts and minds, turning joy into despair. Greed, with its insatiable appetite, began to corrupt relationships and societies, driving people to prioritize wealth over compassion. These were just a few of the countless afflictions that escaped, each one a stark reminder of the fragility of human existence. The symbolic meaning of these evils runs deep. Disease represents the vulnerability of the body, a reminder that even the strongest among us can be brought low by forces beyond our control. Sorrow speaks to the emotional toll of life's hardships, the moments when hope feels out of reach. Greed, on the other hand, symbolizes the darker side of ambition, the way desire can twist even the noblest intentions. Together, these evils paint a picture of a world where suffering is inevitable, but also one where resilience and growth become possible. The impact of these evils on humanity was immediate and far-reaching. Communities that once thrived were now plagued by illness and despair. Trust eroded as greed took hold, turning neighbors against one another. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was also a strange kind of awakening. The presence of these evils forced humanity to confront its own limitations and to seek ways to overcome them. In facing disease, people developed medicine and care. In grappling with sorrow, they found solace in art, music, and connection. And in resisting greed, they discovered the value of generosity and shared purpose. This duality is at the heart of the myth. While the escape of evils brought undeniable suffering, it also set the stage for humanity's growth. The challenges forced people to adapt, to innovate, and to find meaning in the face of adversity. It's a theme that resonates deeply with our own lives. After all, isn't it through struggle that we often discover our greatest strengths? The evils released by Pandora's jar weren't just a punishment, they were a catalyst for change, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is potential for transformation. As we consider the escape of these evils, it's worth reflecting on how they continue to shape our world today. Disease, sorrow, and greed are still very much a part of our lives, but so too are the ways we confront and overcome them. The myth of Pandora's jar isn't just a story about the past, it's a mirror reflecting our ongoing journey as a species. And as we'll see next, even in the midst of this turmoil, there was one thing left behind in the jar, a small but powerful force that would offer a glimmer of hope in the face of despair. As the chaos of the escaping evils began to settle, Pandora, overwhelmed by the devastation she had unleashed, quickly closed the jar, but there was one thing left inside: hope. This small, seemingly insignificant force remained trapped within the jar, a quiet yet powerful presence amidst the turmoil. While the evils had spread far and wide, hope stayed behind, waiting for its moment to emerge. This final element of the myth is perhaps the most profound, offering a counterbalance to the suffering that had been unleashed upon the world. The significance of hope in this story cannot be overstated. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of light. Hope is not just a passive feeling, It's an active force that drives humanity to persevere, to rebuild, and to strive for something better. In the face of disease, sorrow, and greed, hope becomes the antidote, the spark that keeps people moving forward. It's what allows us to dream of a brighter future, even when the present seems bleak. Philosophers and writers have long grappled with the role of hope in Pandora's story. Some see it as a gift, a divine compensation for the evils that were released. Others view it as a cruel irony, a tantalizing promise that keeps humanity striving despite the inevitability of suffering. Friedrich Nietzsche, for example, saw hope as both a blessing and a burden, something that sustains us but also keeps us tethered to an imperfect world. In literature, hope often appears as a theme of resilience, a force that empowers characters to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. From ancient Greek tragedies to modern novels, the idea of hope as a counterbalance to despair has been a recurring motif. The duality of hope is what makes it so compelling. On one hand, it offers comfort and motivation, encouraging us to keep going even when the odds are against us. On the other hand, it can be a source of frustration, a reminder of the gap between our aspirations and reality. This tension is at the heart of the Pandora myth, reflecting the complex nature of the human experience. Hope doesn't erase the evils of the world, it coexists with them, offering a way to navigate through the challenges they bring. In many ways, hope is what defines humanity. It's what drives us to create, to innovate, and to connect with one another. Without hope, the evils released from Pandora's jar would have been insurmountable. But with it, humanity found the strength to endure, to adapt, and to grow. The myth reminds us that while suffering is an inevitable part of life, so too is the capacity to overcome it. Hope is the thread that ties us together, the force that allows us to find meaning even in the face of adversity. As we reflect on the role of hope in Pandora's story, it's worth considering how this ancient myth continues to resonate with us today. In a world still grappling with disease, sorrow, and greed, hope remains a vital force, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always the possibility of change. And as we'll explore next, this enduring theme has shaped not only ancient mythology, but also the way we understand ourselves and our place in the world. Now, let's step back and consider Pandora's role within the larger tapestry of Greek mythology. As the first woman created by the gods, Pandora occupies a unique and symbolic position. Her story is deeply intertwined with those of other key figures, particularly Prometheus, Zeus, and Epimetheus, each of whom plays a crucial part in shaping her destiny, and by extension, humanity's fate. Pandora's creation was no accident. Zeus, the king of the gods, orchestrated her existence as a form of retribution. After Prometheus defied Zeus by stealing fire from the gods and giving it to humanity, Zeus sought to punish both Prometheus and mankind. Pandora was his answer, a beautiful yet cunning creation designed to bring suffering to the world. Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, molded her from clay, while the other gods bestowed upon her gifts like beauty, charm, and most notably, curiosity. These traits made her irresistible but also dangerous, embodying the duality of her purpose. Her marriage to Epimetheus, Prometheus's brother, further cements her role in this mythological drama. Epimetheus, whose name means afterthought, is often portrayed as impulsive and less cautious than his brother. Despite Prometheus's warnings to never accept gifts from Zeus, Epimetheus was captivated by Pandora's beauty and charm, ultimately welcoming her into his life. This decision proved fateful as it set the stage for the release of the evils from the jar. Through this union, Pandora becomes a pivotal figure in the gods' plan, a tool of divine retribution that reshapes the human experience. But Pandora's story is more than just a tale of punishment. It also reflects ancient Greek attitudes toward women and curiosity. In many ways, Pandora embodies the archetype of the dangerous woman, a figure whose beauty and allure conceal a potential for chaos. Her curiosity, often portrayed as a flaw, leads to the opening of the jar and the release of suffering. This portrayal aligns with broader cultural narratives that viewed women as both enchanting and perilous, capable of disrupting order through their actions. At the same time, Pandora's story raises questions about the nature of curiosity itself. Is it a virtue or a vice, a source of knowledge or a path to ruin? These themes resonate throughout Greek mythology, where curiosity often leads to both discovery and disaster. Pandora's connections to other mythological figures also highlight her symbolic significance. Her relationship with Prometheus, the champion of humanity, positions her as a counterbalance to his defiance. While Prometheus sought to uplift humanity, Pandora's actions brought suffering, creating a tension between progress and consequence. Similarly, her ties to Zeus underscore the god's complex relationship with mortals, oscillating between benevolence and wrath. Through these connections, Pandora becomes a lens through which we can explore the dynamics of power, punishment, and the human condition in Greek mythology. As we examine Pandora's role, it's clear that her story is not just about one woman or one jar. It's a reflection of the ancient Greeks' understanding of the world. Her creation, her actions, and her legacy all serve to illustrate the interplay between divine will and human agency, as well as the enduring tension between hope and despair. And as we'll see next, this rich narrative has inspired countless interpretations, from ancient art to modern philosophy, each adding new layers to Pandora's enduring myth. Now, let's turn our attention to how Pandora's story has been brought to life through art and literature, a testament to its enduring appeal across centuries. From ancient pottery to modern masterpieces, Pandora's tale has inspired countless interpretations, each offering a unique perspective on her myth and its timeless themes. In ancient Greece, Pandora's story was often depicted on pottery and sculptures, serving as both decoration and moral instruction. These early artworks typically portrayed her as a beautiful yet ominous figure, often shown holding the infamous jar or surrounded by the evil she unleashed. These depictions reinforced the dual nature of her character, her beauty, and her role as a bringer of suffering. One notable example is a red figure vase from the 5th century before the Common Era, which shows Pandora being adorned by the gods, a visual reminder of her divine origins and her tragic destiny. Moving forward in time, the Renaissance and later periods saw a resurgence of interest in Pandora's story, with artists using her myth to explore themes of temptation, curiosity, and the human condition. One of the most famous depictions comes from the 19th century painter John William Waterhouse, whose work Pandora captures the moment she opens the jar. Waterhouse's painting is rich in symbolism, with Pandora's expression a mix of innocence and apprehension, reflecting the tension between her curiosity and the consequences of her actions. The jar itself glows ominously, hinting at the chaos about to be unleashed, while the surrounding landscape remains serene, emphasizing the contrast between Pandora's act and the world it will forever change. Literature, too, has embraced Pandora's story, reimagining it in ways that reflect the concerns and values of different eras. In the 19th century, poets like Lord Byron and Elizabeth Barrett Browning referenced Pandora in their works, using her myth to explore themes of human frailty and the duality of hope and despair. More recently, Pandora's story has found its way into modern novels, films, and even video games, where her myth serves as a metaphor for the unintended consequences of human ambition. For instance, in the science fiction genre, Pandora's box is often used to symbolize the dangers of unchecked technological advancement, a theme that resonates deeply in our contemporary world. Popular culture has also embraced Pandora's myth, often reinterpreting it to suit new contexts. In films and television, Pandora's story has been adapted into narratives about forbidden knowledge, the consequences of curiosity, and the resilience of hope. One notable example is the film Pandora's Box from the early 20th century, which uses the myth as a metaphor for the destructive power of desire. Similarly, in music, artists have drawn on Pandora's story to explore themes of love, loss, and redemption, proving that her myth remains as relevant today as it was in ancient times. What makes Pandora's story so compelling in art and literature is its ability to adapt to different cultural and historical contexts. Whether depicted as a cautionary tale or a symbol of resilience, Pandora's myth continues to captivate audiences, offering new insights into the human experience with each retelling. And as we'll see next, this rich narrative has also inspired philosophical reflections, adding yet another layer to its enduring legacy. Now, let's delve into the moral lessons woven into the fabric of Pandora's myth, lessons that continue to echo through the ages and speak to the complexities of human nature. At its core, Pandora's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked curiosity. Her decision to open the jar, despite being warned not to, highlights how the pursuit of knowledge or satisfaction can sometimes lead to unintended and devastating consequences. This theme resonates deeply in our modern world, where the allure of discovery often comes with ethical dilemmas, whether in scientific advancements, technological innovations, or even personal choices. Another key lesson from the myth is the consequences of disobedience. Pandora's act of opening the jar was not just an act of curiosity, but also a defiance of the god's command. This disobedience unleashed suffering upon humanity, serving as a reminder of the importance of heeding warnings and respecting boundaries. In today's context, this lesson can be seen in the way societies grapple with the repercussions of ignoring environmental warnings, ethical guidelines, or even personal boundaries, illustrating how the myth's themes remain strikingly relevant. Yet, Pandora's story is not solely about despair. The presence of hope at the bottom of the jar introduces a profound duality, the coexistence of suffering and resilience. Hope, as the final and only thing left in the jar, symbolizes humanity's ability to endure and find light even in the darkest moments. This duality of hope and despair is a timeless theme that continues to inspire, offering comfort and motivation in the face of adversity. It reminds us that while life may be filled with challenges, hope remains a powerful force that can guide us forward. These moral lessons from Pandora's myth have found new life in modern interpretations, resonating with audiences across different cultures and generations. In literature, films, and even everyday conversations, the story of Pandora's box is often invoked to explore the balance between curiosity and caution, the consequences of our actions, and the enduring power of hope. It's a narrative that invites reflection on our own lives, encouraging us to consider how we navigate the complexities of curiosity, responsibility, and resilience. As we move forward, we'll explore how these themes have been reinterpreted through a philosophical lens, adding yet another layer of depth to Pandora's enduring legacy. Now, shifting our focus to the broader implications of Pandora's story, let's explore how the myth of Pandora's box has transcended its ancient roots to become a powerful metaphor in modern times. The phrase, "opening Pandora's box," has come to symbolize the unleashing of unintended consequences, often with far-reaching and uncontrollable effects. This metaphor is widely used across various fields, from politics and science to everyday conversations, illustrating how deeply embedded the myth has become in our collective consciousness. In the realm of politics, Pandora's box is often invoked to describe the unintended fallout of decisions or policies. For instance, the introduction of a controversial law or the escalation of a conflict can be likened to opening Pandora's box, as it may lead to a cascade of unforeseen challenges and complications. The metaphor serves as a cautionary reminder of the complexity and unpredictability of political actions, urging leaders to consider the potential ripple effects of their choices. Similarly, in science and technology, the metaphor is frequently used to highlight the ethical dilemmas and risks associated with groundbreaking discoveries. The development of nuclear energy, for example, has been compared to opening Pandora's box, as it brought both immense benefits and catastrophic dangers. The metaphor underscores the dual nature of scientific progress, emphasizing the need for careful consideration and responsibility in the pursuit of innovation. Even in everyday language, the phrase "opening Pandora's box" is commonly used to describe situations where a seemingly simple action leads to a flood of unexpected problems. Whether it's starting a difficult conversation, delving into a complicated project, or even making a small change in a routine, the metaphor captures the essence of how one action can set off a chain reaction of challenges. It's a vivid way to express the idea that some actions, once taken, cannot easily be undone. The enduring relevance of Pandora's box as a metaphor lies in its ability to encapsulate the tension between human ambition and the unpredictable nature of consequences. It serves as a timeless reminder of the need for caution, foresight, and humility in the face of complex decisions. As we continue to navigate the complexities of our modern world, the lessons embedded in this ancient myth remain as pertinent as ever, offering valuable insights into the delicate balance between action and consequence. With this understanding of Pandora's box as a metaphor, we'll next explore how different cultures and regions have interpreted and adapted the myth, adding their own unique perspectives to this enduring tale. Now, as we turn our attention to the rich tapestry of cultural interpretations, let's uncover how the myth of Pandora has been reshaped and reimagined across different regions and traditions. While the core elements of the story remain consistent, the way it's told and the meanings attributed to it often reflect the values, beliefs, and concerns of the cultures that retell it. In ancient Greece, for example, Pandora's story was deeply tied to the gods' relationship with humanity, emphasizing themes of divine punishment and human frailty. However, as the myth traveled beyond Greece, it began to take on new dimensions. In some versions from the Mediterranean region, Pandora is portrayed less as a passive instrument of the gods and more as a figure of agency, whose curiosity is framed as a natural human trait rather than a flaw. This shift in perspective highlights how different societies viewed the balance between fate and free will. Moving further east, we find variations of the myth that incorporate local deities and cultural motifs. In certain Near Eastern traditions, for instance, the box or jar is replaced with other symbolic containers, such as a chest or a vase, each carrying its own cultural significance. These versions often place greater emphasis on the role of hope, portraying it not just as a consolation but as a guiding force that empowers humanity to endure suffering. In some African retellings, the story of Pandora is interwoven with themes of community and collective responsibility. Here, the act of opening the box is sometimes depicted as a communal decision rather than an individual one, reflecting the importance of shared accountability in these cultures. This interpretation adds a layer of complexity to the myth, suggesting that the consequences of curiosity and disobedience are not borne by one person alone but by the entire community. Even in modern adaptations, the myth continues to evolve. In contemporary literature and media, Pandora is often reimagined as a symbol of resilience and transformation. Some retellings focus on her journey of self-discovery, portraying her as a heroine who learns to navigate the chaos she unleashed. These modern takes on the myth reflect our changing understanding of curiosity, responsibility, and the human capacity for growth. What's fascinating about these variations is how they reveal the universality of Pandora's story, while also showcasing the unique ways different cultures interpret its themes. Whether she's seen as a cautionary figure, a symbol of hope, or a catalyst for change, Pandora's enduring appeal lies in her ability to resonate with the timeless questions about human nature and the consequences of our actions. With this exploration of cultural variations in mind, we'll next delve into the striking parallels between Pandora's story and that of Eve in the Bible, examining how these two iconic figures have shaped our understanding of temptation, curiosity, and the human condition. Now, as we shift our focus to another fascinating dimension of Pandora's story, let's explore how her tale intertwines with that of Eve from the Bible. Both figures stand at the heart of ancient narratives that grapple with themes of temptation, curiosity, and the consequences of human actions. While their stories emerge from different cultural and religious traditions, the parallels between them are striking, offering profound insights into how humanity has long wrestled with questions of morality and free will. At the core of both myths is the theme of temptation. Pandora, gifted with insatiable curiosity by the gods, is drawn to open the forbidden box despite warnings. Similarly, Eve, in the Garden of Eden, is tempted by the serpent to eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge, defying divine instruction. In both cases, their actions lead to irreversible consequences. Pandora unleashes suffering and chaos into the world, while Eve's choice results in humanity's expulsion from paradise and the introduction of sin and mortality. These stories reflect a shared cultural anxiety about the dangers of yielding to temptation and the fragility of human obedience. Yet, while their actions are often framed as the catalyst for humanity's downfall, there are key differences in how Pandora and Eve are portrayed. Pandora is crafted by the gods as a punishment for humanity, a figure whose very existence is tied to divine retribution. Her curiosity, though central to the story, is not entirely her own. It is a trait bestowed upon her by the gods. Eve, on the other hand, is depicted as a more autonomous figure. Her decision to eat the fruit is presented as a conscious choice, driven by her own desire for knowledge and understanding. This distinction highlights differing cultural attitudes toward agency and responsibility, with Pandora embodying the idea of fate and Eve representing the complexities of free will. Another notable difference lies in the aftermath of their actions. In Pandora's story, hope remains in the box, offering a glimmer of resilience amidst the suffering she unleashed. This element introduces a nuanced perspective on the duality of human existence, acknowledging both the pain and the potential for endurance. In contrast, Eve's story focuses more heavily on the consequences of disobedience, emphasizing themes of guilt, punishment, and the loss of innocence. While hope is not explicitly mentioned in the biblical narrative, the story of redemption through faith becomes a central theme in later interpretations, offering a different kind of solace. Despite these differences, both myths serve as powerful reflections on the human condition. They explore the tension between curiosity and obedience, the consequences of our choices, and the enduring struggle to reconcile our flaws with our potential for growth. Whether through Pandora's jar or Eve's fruit, these stories remind us of the profound impact that seemingly small actions can have on the course of history and the nature of existence. As we consider these parallels and contrasts, it's clear that Pandora and Eve are more than just cautionary figures. They are symbols of humanity's complex relationship with knowledge, temptation, and the search for meaning. Their stories continue to resonate because they speak to universal truths about who we are and the challenges we face. With this exploration of Pandora and Eve in mind, we'll next turn our attention to the role of the gods in Pandora's story, examining how their motivations and actions shape the events surrounding the infamous box. Now, as we delve deeper into the myth of Pandora, it's impossible to overlook the pivotal role played by the gods, especially Zeus, in shaping her story. The gods are not mere bystanders in this tale, they are active participants, each with their own motivations and agendas. Understanding their actions gives us a clearer picture of how the ancient Greeks viewed their deities and their relationship with humanity. At the heart of this narrative is Zeus, the king of the gods, whose decision to create Pandora is rooted in a desire for retribution. After Prometheus defies Zeus by stealing fire from the gods and giving it to humanity, Zeus devises a plan to punish both Prometheus and mankind. Pandora is crafted as a tool of divine vengeance, a beautiful yet dangerous gift designed to bring suffering to the world. Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, molds her from clay, while the other gods bestow her with irresistible qualities: beauty, charm, and most importantly, curiosity. These gifts are not acts of kindness but carefully calculated elements of Zeus's plan. By making Pandora both alluring and inquisitive, the gods ensure that she will inevitably open the box, unleashing the evils within. But Zeus's motivations go beyond mere punishment. His actions reflect a broader theme in Greek mythology: the gods' complex and often adversarial relationship with humanity. The gods are portrayed as powerful yet flawed beings, capable of both benevolence and cruelty. In creating Pandora, Zeus demonstrates his authority and control, reminding humanity of its vulnerability and dependence on divine will. Yet, there's also a sense of irony in his actions. While Zeus seeks to punish humanity, he inadvertently leaves hope trapped in the box, a subtle reminder that even the gods cannot fully control the outcomes of their schemes. The other gods also play significant roles in this story, each contributing to Pandora's creation and the unfolding of events. Aphrodite gifts her with beauty and charm, making her irresistible to Epimetheus. Hermes, the messenger god, bestows her with cunning and deceit, ensuring that she will be both persuasive and unpredictable. These divine contributions highlight the gods' collective involvement in shaping Pandora's fate, as well as their willingness to collaborate in Zeus's plan. Yet, their actions also reveal a certain detachment from humanity. The gods view humans as pawns in their divine games, subject to their whims and desires. This dynamic between the gods and humanity is a recurring theme in Greek mythology. The gods are often depicted as capricious and self-serving, using their power to manipulate mortals for their own purposes. In Pandora's story, this relationship is laid bare, with the gods orchestrating events that lead to both suffering and resilience. Their actions serve as a reminder of the precarious balance between divine will and human agency, a tension that continues to resonate in our understanding of fate and free will. As we reflect on the role of the gods in Pandora's story, it becomes clear that they are not just background figures but central to the narrative's meaning. Their motivations and actions shape the course of events, offering a glimpse into the ancient Greek worldview and their understanding of the divine. With this in mind, we'll next explore how Pandora's story has been reinterpreted in modern culture, revealing its enduring relevance and influence. Now, shifting our focus to the present day, let's explore how Pandora's story has transcended ancient mythology to leave a lasting mark on modern culture. Her tale, rich with themes of curiosity, consequence, and hope, has inspired countless adaptations across various forms of media, proving that her legacy is as relevant today as it was in ancient Greece. In the world of film and television, Pandora's story has been reimagined in ways that resonate with contemporary audiences. For instance, her myth has served as a foundation for science fiction and fantasy narratives, where the idea of unleashing unintended consequences is a recurring theme. Movies like Avatar draw parallels to Pandora's box, with its lush, alien world named after her, symbolizing both beauty and danger. Similarly, TV shows often use her story as a metaphor for exploring the ethical dilemmas of scientific discovery or the unintended fallout of human ambition. These adaptations highlight how Pandora's narrative continues to captivate viewers, offering a timeless lens through which to examine modern issues. Beyond the screen, Pandora's influence extends to music and fashion. Musicians have drawn inspiration from her story, crafting songs that explore themes of temptation, regret, and resilience. Her name has even become synonymous with mystery and allure, appearing in lyrics and album titles that evoke her mythic persona. In fashion, designers have embraced her as a symbol of complexity and duality, creating collections that reflect her blend of beauty and danger. From intricate jewelry to bold, avant-garde designs, Pandora's legacy lives on as a muse for artistic expression. Even in everyday language, Pandora's story has left its mark. Phrases like "opening Pandora's box" are commonly used to describe situations where a seemingly small action leads to a cascade of unforeseen consequences. This metaphor has found its way into discussions about politics, technology, and even personal relationships, demonstrating how her myth continues to shape the way we think and communicate. What makes Pandora's story so enduring is its universal appeal. Her tale speaks to the human experience, our curiosity, our flaws, and our capacity for hope. Whether through a blockbuster film, a haunting melody, or a striking piece of art, her legacy reminds us of the power of storytelling to connect us across time and culture. As we continue to reinterpret her myth, we find new ways to reflect on our own lives and the world around us. With this in mind, let's turn our attention to how the Pandora myth has been analyzed through a psychological lens, offering deeper insights into the human condition and the complexities of curiosity and guilt. Now let's delve into the psychological layers of Pandora's myth, uncovering how her story reflects timeless aspects of the human mind. At its core, Pandora's tale is a profound exploration of curiosity, a trait that defines us as human beings. Psychologists often view curiosity as a double-edged sword, driving us to seek knowledge and innovation while also exposing us to risks and unintended consequences. Pandora's irresistible urge to open the box mirrors this duality, illustrating how our innate desire to explore can lead to both discovery and destruction. Guilt is another central theme in the psychological interpretation of Pandora's story. After releasing the evils into the world, Pandora is often portrayed as burdened by remorse, a feeling many of us can relate to when we face the fallout of our actions. This aspect of the myth resonates deeply with the human experience, as guilt is a universal emotion tied to our sense of responsibility and morality. Pandora's story invites us to reflect on how we cope with regret and whether we can find redemption in the face of our mistakes. The myth also touches on the broader human condition, particularly our relationship with hope. When Pandora closes the box, hope remains inside, symbolizing our enduring ability to persevere despite adversity. Psychologists have long studied the role of hope in resilience, noting how it helps individuals navigate challenges and maintain a sense of purpose. In this way, Pandora's box becomes a metaphor for the complexities of life, where suffering and hope coexist, shaping our emotional and psychological landscapes. By examining Pandora's story through a psychological lens, we gain a deeper understanding of its relevance to our own lives. It challenges us to consider the consequences of our curiosity, the weight of our guilt, and the power of hope in overcoming life's trials. These themes not only enrich the myth but also offer valuable insights into the human psyche, reminding us that Pandora's story is as much about our inner world as it is about the external forces she unleashed. With these psychological insights in mind, let's now explore how philosophers have interpreted Pandora's box, shedding light on its deeper philosophical implications and the nature of hope and suffering. Turning our attention to the realm of philosophy, Pandora's box has long been a subject of deep contemplation, offering rich insights into the nature of hope, suffering, and the human condition. Philosophers have grappled with the symbolism of the box, seeing it as a mirror to the complexities of existence. Friedrich Nietzsche, for instance, viewed Pandora's story as a reflection of the dualities inherent in life. He saw the release of evils as an inevitable part of the human experience, arguing that suffering is not merely a punishment but a necessary force that shapes our character and drives us toward growth. For Nietzsche, hope, which remained in the box, was both a blessing and a curse, a source of resilience but also a potential distraction from confronting the harsh realities of life. Albert Camus, another influential thinker, approached Pandora's myth through the lens of existentialism, He saw the story as a metaphor for the absurdity of human existence, where suffering and hope coexist in a world that often feels indifferent to our struggles. Camus believed that the key to navigating this absurdity lies in embracing the tension between despair and hope, finding meaning not in the absence of suffering but in our ability to persist despite it. In this way, Pandora's box becomes a powerful symbol of the human struggle to find purpose in a world filled with chaos and uncertainty. Beyond these individual interpretations, the myth has also sparked broader philosophical debates about the nature of evil. Some philosophers argue that the evils released from the box represent the inherent flaws in human nature, while others see them as external forces that test our moral resilience. The presence of hope, however, remains a central point of discussion. Is hope a form of delusion that keeps us from facing reality, or is it an essential force that empowers us to endure and overcome adversity? These questions continue to resonate, inviting us to reflect on our own relationship with hope and suffering. By examining Pandora's box through the eyes of philosophers, we gain a deeper appreciation for its timeless relevance. The myth challenges us to confront the complexities of existence, urging us to find meaning in the face of suffering and to embrace hope as both a source of strength and a reminder of our shared humanity. As we move forward, let's explore how the symbolism of the box itself has evolved over time, shedding light on its enduring significance in art, literature, and beyond. Now, let's shift our focus to the box itself, a seemingly simple object that carries profound symbolic weight. At its core, the box represents containment, a vessel holding both the known and the unknown. In its sealed state, it embodies secrecy, mystery, and the potential for both danger and discovery. This duality has made the box a powerful symbol across cultures and eras, evolving in meaning as it resonates with different aspects of the human experience. In ancient times, the box was seen as a boundary between order and chaos. Its contents, once unleashed, disrupted the harmony of the world, symbolizing the fragility of human control over the forces of nature and fate. The act of opening the box, then, becomes a metaphor for humanity's relentless curiosity and its consequences, a reminder that some boundaries exist for a reason. Yet, the box also represents the allure of the unknown, the irresistible pull to uncover what lies hidden, even at great risk. Over time, the symbolism of the box has expanded to reflect broader themes. In literature and art, it has come to represent the human psyche with its layers of secrets, fears, and desires. The box becomes a mirror of our inner world, where the act of opening it parallels the journey of self-discovery, confronting both the darkness and the light within. This interpretation invites us to consider how much of our own boxes we are willing to open and what truths we might uncover in the process. In modern contexts, the box has taken on new meanings, often tied to technology and innovation. It symbolizes the unintended consequences of progress, where breakthroughs can lead to unforeseen challenges. Think of scientific discoveries or technological advancements, each one a metaphorical box that, once opened, changes the world in ways we cannot always predict. This evolution of the box's symbolism highlights its enduring relevance as it continues to reflect our relationship with knowledge, power, and the unknown. As we reflect on the box's symbolism, it becomes clear that its meaning is as multifaceted as the human experience itself. It challenges us to consider the balance between curiosity and caution, the tension between discovery and restraint, and the ever-present allure of the unknown. With this understanding, let's turn our attention to how the concept of Pandora's box has been reimagined in the realm of science fiction, where its symbolism takes on new dimensions in stories of technology and experimentation. Now, let's step into the realm of science fiction, where the concept of Pandora's box has been reimagined in fascinating ways. In this genre, the box often serves as a metaphor for the unpredictable consequences of human innovation, particularly in the fields of technology and experimentation. Science fiction writers and filmmakers have long been drawn to the idea of unleashing forces beyond our control, using Pandora's box as a powerful symbol to explore the ethical dilemmas and unintended outcomes of progress. One of the most iconic examples can be found in the classic film, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Here, humanity's development of nuclear weapons is portrayed as a modern-day Pandora's box, a dangerous tool that threatens to destroy not only our world but also the delicate balance of the universe. The film's message is clear: once such power is unleashed, it cannot easily be contained, echoing the ancient myths warning about the perils of unchecked curiosity. In literature, Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park offers another compelling take on the theme. The novel, and later the film, explores the consequences of genetic engineering as scientists resurrect dinosaurs from extinction. What begins as a groundbreaking achievement quickly spirals into chaos as the creatures break free from their containment, wreaking havoc on the island and its inhabitants. The story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that some discoveries, like the contents of Pandora's box, come with risks that cannot be fully anticipated or controlled. Another striking example is the Alien franchise, where the mysterious alien species becomes a metaphor for the dangers of tampering with the unknown. The Whale and Yutani Corporation's relentless pursuit of the alien for profit and power mirrors humanity's temptation to open Pandora's box, despite the catastrophic consequences. The films delve into themes of corporate greed, scientific ambition, and the hubris of believing we can dominate forces beyond our understanding. Even in more recent works, such as the television series Westworld, the concept of Pandora's box remains relevant. The show explores the ethical implications of artificial intelligence as the creators of a high-tech theme park lose control over their creations. The androids designed to entertain begin to develop self-awareness and rebel against their human masters, raising questions about the limits of technology and the responsibilities that come with playing God. These examples illustrate how the myth of Pandora's box continues to resonate in science fiction, serving as a timeless reminder of the dual nature of human ingenuity. While our curiosity and drive to innovate have led to incredible advancements, they also carry the potential for unintended consequences. As we push the boundaries of what is possible, the stories of Pandora's box in science fiction challenge us to consider the ethical implications of our actions and the importance of exercising caution in the face of the unknown. With this exploration of science fiction's take on Pandora's box, let's now turn our attention to how the myth has been reinterpreted through a feminist lens, offering new perspectives on Pandora's role and the themes of curiosity and empowerment. Now, shifting our focus to a more contemporary perspective, let's explore how Pandora's story has been reinterpreted through a feminist lens. For centuries, Pandora has been portrayed as the archetype of female curiosity and its disastrous consequences, often blamed for humanity's suffering. However, modern feminist retellings have sought to reclaim her narrative, transforming her from a scapegoat into a symbol of empowerment and complexity. In traditional interpretations, Pandora's curiosity is framed as a flaw, a weakness that leads to catastrophe. But feminist scholars and writers argue that this portrayal reflects deeper societal biases, particularly the tendency to vilify women for traits like curiosity and independence. By re-examining Pandora's story, they challenge these outdated narratives, suggesting that her actions were not merely impulsive but driven by a desire to understand the world around her. In this light, Pandora becomes a figure of agency, someone who dared to question and explore despite the risks. One notable example of this reinterpretation can be found in Margaret Atwood's poem, Pandora's Box. Atwood reframes Pandora's curiosity as a form of resistance, a refusal to accept the limitations imposed on her by the gods. Instead of being a passive vessel for divine punishment, Pandora emerges as a proactive figure whose actions, though fraught with consequences, are ultimately a testament to her courage and determination. This perspective invites us to see Pandora not as a cautionary tale, but as a complex character whose story reflects the struggles and triumphs of women throughout history. Similarly, in modern literature and media, Pandora has been reimagined as a heroine rather than a villain. For instance, in some retellings, she is depicted as a figure who, despite unleashing evils, also brings hope and resilience to humanity. These versions emphasize her role as a catalyst for change, someone whose actions, though imperfect, pave the way for growth and transformation. By focusing on her resilience and the positive aspects of her legacy, these stories challenge the notion that women should be defined solely by their mistakes. Feminist retellings also highlight the broader implications of Pandora's story, particularly its commentary on power dynamics and gender roles. By portraying Pandora as a victim of divine manipulation, these interpretations underscore the ways in which women have historically been used as pawns in larger conflicts. At the same time, they celebrate her ability to rise above these constraints, reclaiming her narrative and asserting her autonomy. This duality makes Pandora a compelling figure for feminist discourse, embodying both the struggles and strengths of women in a patriarchal world. As we reflect on these modern interpretations, it's clear that Pandora's story continues to evolve, offering new insights into themes of curiosity, agency, and empowerment. By challenging traditional narratives and reclaiming her complexity, feminist retellings invite us to see Pandora not as a cautionary figure, but as a symbol of resilience and transformation. With this fresh perspective in mind, let's now turn to the psychological interpretations of Pandora's myth, exploring how her story resonates with our understanding of human behavior and the consequences of curiosity. Now, let's delve into the fascinating intersection of mythology and psychology, where Pandora's box serves as a powerful metaphor for understanding human behavior. Psychologists have long been intrigued by the themes of curiosity, decision-making, and unintended consequences embedded in Pandora's story, using it as a framework to explore how these elements shape our actions and their outcomes. One of the most compelling psychological concepts tied to Pandora's myth is the idea of curiosity as a double-edged sword. Studies have shown that curiosity drives us to seek out new information and experiences, often leading to personal growth and innovation. However, it can also lead to risky decisions, especially when the potential consequences are unknown. This duality mirrors Pandora's dilemma. Her curiosity compelled her to open the box, unleashing both chaos and hope. Psychologists refer to this as the curiosity gap, the tension between the desire to know and the fear of what might be discovered. Experiments in behavioral psychology have explored how curiosity influences decision-making, often using scenarios inspired by Pandora's story. For example, researchers have designed studies where participants are presented with a sealed container or box, much like Pandora's, and given the choice to open it or leave it closed. These experiments reveal that the temptation to satisfy curiosity often outweighs the fear of negative outcomes, even when participants are aware of potential risks. This phenomenon, known as the Pandora effect, highlights how curiosity can override rational judgment, leading to actions with far-reaching consequences. Another psychological lens through which Pandora's story is examined is the concept of regret and its impact on behavior. Opening the box symbolizes a moment of irreversible choice, a theme that resonates deeply in studies of regret and decision-making. Psychologists have found that people often experience regret not just for the actions they take, but also for the opportunities they miss. Pandora's act of opening the box, while fraught with consequences, also represents a decisive moment of agency, a choice that, despite its fallout, cannot be undone. This aligns with research showing that regret is a powerful motivator, shaping future decisions and encouraging individuals to weigh their actions more carefully. The myth also offers insights into the psychology of hope, the one element left in Pandora's box. psychologists have studied hope as a coping mechanism, a force that helps individuals endure adversity and envision a better future. In this context, Pandora's box becomes a symbol of resilience, reminding us that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, hope can provide the strength to persevere. This interpretation has been particularly influential in therapeutic settings, where fostering hope is seen as essential for emotional healing and personal growth. As we explore these psychological dimensions, it's clear that Pandora's story transcends its mythological origins, offering timeless lessons about human nature. From the allure of curiosity to the weight of regret and the power of hope, the myth continues to inspire research and reflection, shedding light on the complexities of our choices and their consequences. With this understanding, let's now turn to the next chapter of Pandora's legacy, examining how her story has influenced environmentalism and our understanding of humanity's impact on the world. Shifting our focus to the modern world, Pandora's box offers a striking metaphor for environmental destruction and the unintended consequences of human actions. Just as Pandora's curiosity led to the release of chaos and suffering, humanity's relentless pursuit of progress and resource exploitation has unleashed a cascade of environmental crises. The myth serves as a powerful reminder that our choices, often driven by short-term gains, can have far-reaching and irreversible impacts on the planet. At its core, Pandora's box symbolizes the dangers of unchecked curiosity and the failure to consider the long-term consequences of our actions. In the context of environmentalism, this mirrors humanity's exploitation of natural resources, such as deforestation, overfishing, and fossil fuel consumption. These actions, while initially beneficial, have led to climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution evils that, once released, are difficult to contain. The myth underscores the importance of foresight and responsibility, urging us to weigh the potential outcomes of our decisions before acting. One of the most compelling parallels lies in the concept of unintended consequences. Just as Pandora could not have anticipated the full extent of the evil she unleashed, humanity often fails to predict the environmental fallout of technological advancements and industrial practices. For example, the invention of plastics revolutionized industries but has since led to a global pollution crisis, with microplastics now found in even the most remote ecosystems. Similarly, the widespread use of pesticides has boosted agricultural productivity, but has also contributed to the decline of pollinators like bees, threatening food security. The myth also highlights the dual nature of hope in the face of environmental challenges. While Pandora's box released countless evils, it also contained hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times there is potential for positive change. In the environmental context, this hope manifests in global efforts to combat climate change, such as renewable energy initiatives, conservation projects, and international agreements like the Paris Accord. These efforts, though often met with skepticism, represent humanity's capacity to learn from past mistakes and strive for a sustainable future. Pandora's story resonates deeply with contemporary environmental issues, serving as a cautionary tale about the fragility of our planet and the need for responsible stewardship. It challenges us to reflect on our role in shaping the environment and to consider how our actions today will impact future generations. By drawing parallels between the myth and real-world environmental crises, we gain a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of our choices and their consequences. As we continue to grapple with the environmental challenges of our time, Pandora's box reminds us that hope, though fragile, remains a vital force for change. It encourages us to act with greater awareness and responsibility, ensuring that the legacy we leave behind is one of resilience and renewal. With this perspective, let's now explore how Pandora's story has been reinterpreted in modern culture, shedding light on its enduring relevance and influence. Turning our attention to the intersection of myth and reality, Pandora's box offers a fascinating lens through which to examine real-world events that echo its timeless themes. The story of Pandora, with its cautionary tale of curiosity and unintended consequences, finds striking parallels in modern history, particularly in the realms of science, technology, and global crises. These real-world examples not only bring the myth to life, but also deepen our understanding of its enduring relevance. One of the most profound parallels lies in the discovery and use of nuclear energy. Much like Pandora's box, the splitting of the atom was initially seen as a groundbreaking achievement with the potential to revolutionize the world. However, the release of nuclear energy also unleashed unimaginable destruction, as seen in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. The myth of Pandora's box serves as a stark reminder of the dual nature of human innovation, capable of both immense good and catastrophic harm. It challenges us to consider the ethical implications of scientific advancements and the responsibility that comes with wielding such power. Similarly, the global response to pandemics mirrors the themes of Pandora's story. The outbreak of diseases such as the Spanish flu in the early 20th century or the more recent COVID-19 pandemic demonstrates how quickly unforeseen evils can spread across the world. Just as Pandora's curiosity led to the release of suffering, humanity's interconnectedness and reliance on global systems have amplified the impact of these crises. The myth underscores the importance of preparedness, cooperation, and humility in the face of forces beyond our control. Another compelling example is the environmental impact of industrialization. The Industrial Revolution, while driving unprecedented economic growth and technological progress, also unleashed a host of environmental evils, from air pollution to climate change. Like Pandora's box, the benefits of industrialization came at a cost, with long-term consequences that continue to challenge us today. This parallel highlights the need for sustainable practices and a deeper awareness of how our actions shape the world around us. The myth also offers valuable lessons about the role of hope in navigating these challenges. Just as hope remained in Pandora's box, humanity has demonstrated resilience and ingenuity in addressing real-world crises. For instance, the development of vaccines has been a beacon of hope in combating pandemics, while renewable energy technologies offer a path toward mitigating climate change. These efforts remind us that, even in the face of overwhelming challenges, there is always the potential for positive change. By comparing Pandora's box to these real-world events, we gain a deeper appreciation for the myth's timeless wisdom. It serves as a powerful metaphor for the complexities of human progress, urging us to approach innovation and decision-making with caution and foresight. As we continue to grapple with the challenges of our time, Pandora's story reminds us of the delicate balance between curiosity and responsibility, and the enduring power of hope in shaping a better future. With this perspective, let's now explore how Pandora's legacy continues to inspire and captivate audiences in modern culture. Shifting our focus to the heart of Pandora's story, we now turn to the enigmatic role of hope, the one element left in the box after all the evils had escaped. This small, seemingly insignificant presence has sparked countless debates and interpretations, making it one of the most intriguing aspects of the myth. Was hope a gift to humanity, a beacon of light in the face of despair, or was it too a form of suffering, keeping humanity tethered to an uncertain future? Let's unravel this complex duality. At first glance, hope appears as a comforting force, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is the possibility of something better. In the aftermath of Pandora's actions, as humanity grappled with the evils unleashed upon the world, hope became a source of resilience. It allowed people to endure hardship, to strive for improvement, and to believe in the possibility of redemption. This interpretation aligns with the way many philosophers and writers have viewed hope, as an essential human trait that fuels perseverance and optimism. For instance, the ancient Greeks often saw hope as a necessary counterbalance to suffering, a way to maintain the will to live and thrive despite life's challenges. However, hope's role is not without its complexities. Some interpretations suggest that hope itself can be a burden, a form of torment that keeps humanity yearning for what might never come. In this view, hope becomes a cruel trick, prolonging suffering by encouraging people to cling to possibilities that may never materialize. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche famously criticized hope, calling it the worst of evils because it extends the torment of existence. This perspective challenges us to consider whether hope is truly a gift or if it, too, is part of the punishment inflicted upon humanity. Literary interpretations of Pandora's story further explore this duality. In some retellings, hope is portrayed as a fragile, almost bittersweet presence, a reminder of what could be, but also of what has been lost. It becomes a symbol of the human condition, caught between the desire for a better future and the reality of present suffering. This tension is beautifully captured in works like John William Waterhouse's painting Pandora, where the figure of hope is depicted with a quiet, almost melancholic grace, embodying both its promise and its pain. The dual nature of hope also resonates deeply with modern audiences. In times of crisis, hope can inspire collective action and resilience, as seen in movements for social change or responses to global challenges. Yet, it can also lead to disillusionment when expectations are unmet, highlighting its precarious balance between comfort and cruelty. This duality makes hope one of the most relatable and enduring aspects of Pandora's myth, reflecting the complexities of the human experience. As we reflect on the role of hope in Pandora's story, it becomes clear that its significance lies in its ambiguity. It is neither purely a blessing nor entirely a burden, but rather a reflection of the human capacity to endure and aspire. This nuanced understanding invites us to consider how hope shapes our own lives, how it sustains us in difficult times, yet also challenges us to confront the uncertainties of the future. With this in mind, let's now explore how Pandora's legacy continues to influence modern culture, inspiring new interpretations and adaptations that keep her story alive. Turning our attention to the lasting impact of Pandora's story, we find that her myth has woven itself into the very fabric of our language. One of the most enduring legacies of Pandora's box is its presence in everyday sayings and idioms, which continue to resonate with people across the globe. Perhaps the most well-known of these is the phrase, "opening Pandora's box," a vivid expression that has become shorthand for actions that lead to unforeseen and often disastrous consequences. When someone says they've opened Pandora's box, they're usually referring to a situation where a seemingly small or innocent decision has unleashed a cascade of problems, much like Pandora's fateful act of lifting the lid on her infamous container. This saying is often used in contexts ranging from personal dilemmas to global events. For example, in politics, a controversial policy might be described as opening Pandora's box if it sparks widespread debate and unintended outcomes. Similarly, in science and technology, groundbreaking discoveries can sometimes be seen as opening Pandora's box when they raise ethical questions or create new challenges. The phrase captures the essence of Pandora's story, a reminder that curiosity and action can have far-reaching and unpredictable effects. Another related expression is letting the genie out of the bottle, which shares a similar meaning to opening Pandora's box. Both idioms convey the idea of releasing something powerful and uncontrollable, though letting the genie out of the bottle often carries a slightly more neutral tone, suggesting that the consequences might not always be negative. These sayings highlight how Pandora's myth has become a universal metaphor for the complexities of cause and effect, resonating with people across cultures and generations. Beyond these well-known phrases, Pandora's story has also inspired more subtle linguistic references. For instance, the term Pandora's jar is sometimes used to describe a situation filled with hidden dangers or surprises, though it's less common than the box metaphor. Additionally, the idea of hope remaining in the box has influenced expressions about resilience and optimism, often used to describe a glimmer of positivity in otherwise dire circumstances. These linguistic echoes demonstrate how deeply Pandora's myth has permeated our collective consciousness, offering a rich tapestry of meaning that continues to evolve. As we explore these sayings, it's fascinating to see how Pandora's story has transcended its ancient origins to become a part of modern language. These idioms not only keep the myth alive, but also provide a way for us to articulate complex ideas about consequences, curiosity, and the human condition. With this in mind, let's now delve into the final chapter of our exploration, reflecting on why Pandora's tale remains so captivating and relevant even today. As we reach the final chapter of our journey through Pandora's myth, it's worth pausing to consider why her story has endured for thousands of years. What is it about this ancient tale that continues to captivate and resonate with people across generations? The answer lies in its timeless themes and universal appeal, which speak to the very core of the human experience. At its heart, Pandora's story is a reflection of our own struggles with curiosity, consequences, and the duality of hope and despair. Her act of opening the box, driven by an irresistible urge to uncover the unknown, mirrors the human tendency to seek answers, even when the risks are great. This theme of curiosity and the consequences that often follow is something everyone can relate to, whether it's the pursuit of knowledge, the exploration of new frontiers, or the simple act of making a life-changing decision. We've all faced moments where curiosity has led us down unexpected paths. But Pandora's story doesn't end with the release of evils. The presence of hope left behind in the box adds a layer of complexity that makes her tale profoundly relatable. Hope, as both a blessing and a burden, reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there's a glimmer of light to hold onto. This duality of suffering and resilience, despair and optimism, resonates deeply with audiences, offering a powerful metaphor for the human condition. It's a reminder that life is a balance of challenges and opportunities, and that hope can be both a source of strength and a test of endurance. Another reason for the myth's enduring appeal is its adaptability. Over the centuries, Pandora's story has been reinterpreted in countless ways, from ancient Greek art to modern literature, film, and even psychology. Each retelling brings new layers of meaning, allowing the myth to evolve and stay relevant in different cultural contexts. Whether it's seen as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked curiosity or a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity, Pandora's story offers something for everyone. Moreover, Pandora herself is a figure of immense complexity. She's not just a passive recipient of the gods' will, but an active participant in her own story. Her curiosity, her actions, and her ultimate role as the bearer of both destruction and hope make her a deeply human character. This complexity allows audiences to see themselves in her, making her story feel personal and relatable. Finally, the enduring mystery of Pandora lies in its ability to provoke thought and discussion. The myth raises questions about the nature of curiosity, the consequences of our actions, and the role of hope in a world filled with challenges. These are questions that have no easy answers, and that's precisely what makes the story so compelling. It invites us to reflect on our own lives, our choices, and the balance between light and darkness that defines the human experience. As we close this exploration of Pandora's myth, it's clear that her story is far more than an ancient tale. It's a timeless narrative that continues to inspire, challenge, and resonate with people across the globe. Whether you see her as a cautionary figure, a symbol of resilience, or a reflection of humanity's complexities, Pandora's story reminds us of the power of myth to illuminate the deepest truths about who we are. And with that, we invite you to share your thoughts. What does Pandora's story mean to you? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the myths that shape our world. As we wrap up this journey through the 25 myths surrounding Pandora and her infamous box, it's clear that her story is a tapestry of complexity, symbolism, and timeless relevance. From her creation by the gods to the moment she opened the box, and from the release of evils to the enduring presence of hope, Pandora's tale is a profound exploration of human nature. Each myth we've explored adds a new layer to her story, revealing the depth of her character and the universal themes she embodies. Pandora's story is not just about curiosity and consequences, it's about resilience, duality, and the enduring power of hope. It's a reminder that even in the face of great challenges, there is always a glimmer of light to guide us forward. Her myth has inspired countless interpretations, from ancient art to modern psychology, proving its ability to adapt and resonate across cultures and eras. Whether you see her as a cautionary figure, a symbol of human complexity, or a beacon of hope, Pandora's story invites us to reflect on our own lives and the choices we make. So, what does Pandora's story mean to you? Does it remind you of the power of curiosity, the importance of resilience, or the delicate balance between light and darkness in our lives? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the myths of Pandora, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more explorations into the stories that shape our world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, even in the darkest moments, hope is never far away.